Hello, this is Brian again. So, just a little ways up. That's looking over towards Old Sugarloaf Peak here in the Santa Anas. And now, got some other good views opening up here. One thing is, it's getting very buggy out here. A lot of flies. It's a very warm spring day out here. It feels like it's, well, it feels like it's in the 70s already. But now, looking out towards San Mateo Peak, Elsinore Peak, and then this hill right here, that's Peak 3480. And I'm still trudging my way up Main Divide. One thing I forgot is that parts of this road get steep. I know I've seen really steep parts of it in other areas here in the Santa Ana range, but whoo boy, sometimes this road gets very steep. And coming off of last week, having done a roughly 13-mile hike to and back from Mount Lukens, and that was a much longer hike than this is going to be. At least 3 times the amount, probably about 3 times the amount of distance, and I'm already feeling it. So now, continue the climb. Bugs are pretty rough today. Bugs are pretty annoying already this morning. But I'm climbing and climbing and climbing this steep hill. It's a little over a mile from the trailhead to Munhall / Los Pinos Saddle. And then it's up to Los Pinos from there. So, yeah, here's some very nice views opening up today. One thing, ever since the 2018 Holy Fire, bush poppies have been blooming. You check my spotlight video from last week on this guy, Dendromicon rigida. It's blooming like crazy right now that it's springtime. This is one of the areas where the fire actually breached the road. It's mostly on this side of the road, but this area, you can see a swath of it coming around here, hence why the chaparral's a lot more trimmed back as it's reestablishing itself. Also why we got tons of bush poppies up here. You can see, look over here, once we get to about that point over there, you can see this side of the Main Divide and, well, this side of Los Pinos Ridge was relatively unscathed. Remember, last time I was here, it was in 2017, really good rainy season, and there was water. There was like a little waterfall trickling down that canyon, and also one down the canyon near the trailhead. So I was during a very wet winter. There was even a little snow, a little bit of snow on Los Pinos that time, just a few patches, and some over by the saddle, especially in the shady spots. And there was just water running down that canyon. It was really cool. 5 years later, this is basically the driest start to the calendar year on record. We haven't had more than maybe a quarter or a third of an inch of rain since the end of December. So at the end of December, well, by December it was looking promising, but I was definitely cautioned not to get too excited about the rest of the rainy season, because some people were predicting in advance that December would be wet, but January through the rest of the winter would be drier than normal. And so I definitely had that in the back of my mind when we were getting pounded by rains and mountain snows back in December. And voila, that came to fruition. Ever since then, it's been bone dry out here. Well, maybe up here. Up here it's probably rained a little bit more, but where I live, it's been less than a half an inch of rain the entire year. So I'm not talking about the water year, which is October to September, something like that. It's like October to September, because our rainy season comes at the end of the year, the beginning of the following year. But calendar year wise, even 2018 had more rain than this. Significantly more rain, believe it or not. It's just that December 2017 was bone dry, and we had a couple of storms in 2018, especially a good one in January, and then a good one in March. But this year, nothing. I'm hearing, though, we're supposed to get a possible decent rain around Monday or Tuesday of the upcoming week. But that's what they said about the storm around the 4th of the month. Said a strong storm was going to come and give us some good rainfall, but where I live, we didn't see anything. So I'm in the believe it when I see it mode. But that's enough complaining about the lack of rain. Just enjoy the stunning views of the beautiful Santa Ana Range. So now we're looking out towards Sitting Peak, Boy Scout Peak, and then there's, see, I told you that was Old Sugarloaf. That's Sugarloaf. So you got Old Sugarloaf and Sugarloaf. I did those back in 2017. That was a pretty decent day hike. It's kind of an upside down hike because my trailhead was higher than the top of the highest peak, Sugarloaf, or Old Sugarloaf. So that was quite a day, but it's beautiful and cool and misty that day, so it's all good. Well, I'm gonna keep climbing. We'll see what happens in the next clip.